Hello there. Once again, it's Anton from Anton Bay. Thank you for stopping by the collection room today. We're looking at some comics, and it's Maxx Comics from Image. I loved Maxx Comics. At one point, this was one of my favorite books to read, and there wasn't very many. I think Maxx, at least the main story with the characters I know, only ran to like issue 20 before Julie leaves, and it changes. The whole book changes. And then it didn't last long after that. So, really, there's just Maxx 1 through 20 for me, is what I know. But I fell in love with Sam Keith's art. It's just fantastic. So what I got here is issues 1 through 4. And it just cracks me up. If you've ever seen the MTV animated movie of this, it was very well done. It really tied this together perfectly, almost shot for shot sometimes, what was going on. This is 1993, I believe, March 1993. Sam Keith is known for drawing things very oddly, but I loved this. And you'll see this chung 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 in the background a lot of the time. And I've heard many people wonder what that means. And I actually saw in an interview or somewhere somebody said that's when Maxx has a headache. Maxx has a headache, and so that chung 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 going on in the back, that's his brain pounding. Like he's got a terrible headache. And he is a very tragic character. He is basically a homeless person. This is a beautiful page. This is one of the most beautiful pages from the whole series. Because he is sucked into a dream world that is not his own. And the Jungle Queen, Julie, in the sky there, great. Where the heck am I now? I just love this page. It's absolutely gorgeous. But Maxx is a homeless guy, just a bum, who gets sucked into someone else's dreams in their dream world where he is a hero. And then he goes back to the regular world where he still thinks he's a hero. And it's this woman's dream world. He is stuck in Julie's dream world, her outback, as they call it. She's a social worker. That's how they dress. It's pointed out that she dresses like a hooker. And that's what they say. Like, you dress like a hooker. Even animated, the shot-for-shots from the film are just killer with this. They're really, really good. They even use some of the shaping of the panels in the film, so that's pretty cool. Then we're introduced to our villain, Mr. Gone, who is a very bad villain guy, but he's also terribly misunderstood. We don't get the purpose or point of him for a long time. And this is the most panels I've ever seen in a single page. A lot. And it tells a lot that happens right there. Greetings, Briar Leppin. Yeah, I love this stuff. I love the hand claws, all of it. The is in the real world, they're black. In the outback, they turn white. I always like the white is better. And here, you are treated to one of my favorite, I think probably top 5. It's in my top 5 all-time favorite comic book covers, is the Maxx issue 2. Where you've got the leopard queen, you've got an actual leopard, you've got the Maxx in full headdress. Just all the colors on this thing work. It's all beautiful. The pose that the Maxx has with his headdress and his weird teeth thing, just all of it. It's a great, great cover. You wind up with an is in the fridge. See, now that I've seen the film, you can't look at the books now without hearing that. And even though that sounds maybe not great, it actually is. It is great. They did such a good job translating this to a movie that, I mean, it's flawless. In my brain, it just perfect. They give voice to these people, and it's done really, really well. And I've probably looked at some of these books before. I can't remember ever doing like 1 through 4 in a video. And like some of these pages make no sense because they're just flashbacks of like bad memories that you don't really get to get the full depth of unless you like read on. Like that one flash page doesn't make any sense. And once it does make sense, it'll just barely make sense, but it'll barely make sense like 6 issues from now. So issue number 4, or issue number 3, Maxx is all wet. We get to spend some time in the Outback. I love the Outback. It reminds me very much of the fields, some fields where I used to grow up and play. They looked very much like the Outback to me in my brain. The plains of Kansas, sans air whale. And then it also, I live now in New Mexico, and some of the stuff really reminds me of home now. So very cool. I think Maxx, personally, I've always loved him with the headdress. That's not hair, that's a headdress, in case you were ever confused about that. He only has the headdress in the Outback, and when he's in the real world, he does not. So he does bear a physical change back and forth. Also, his hands are less, I don't know, they change a little bit, it seems, from the Outback to the real world. Plagued More by Mr. Gone. Sam Keith does all sorts of things that shouldn't work, but do. Why make all these panels with the same pictures in them? Why break it up like this? I don't know. But for a very surrealistic tone and everything, it works. This is also another classic picture. It's just the Maxx trimming Julie's toenails while they're sitting on the ledge of their building, just having a chat. This is also where the chung becomes much more obvious. As a person having mental psychotic episodes back and forth between real worlds, the Maxx is frequented by massive headaches and confusion, discomfort, all sorts of problems. Like, you got to remember, at the core of the character, he's just a homeless guy who's really strong. He doesn't actually have like any powers. He only has the powers that he has in like the Outback. And I think issue 4 is our first appearance of Sarah. Sarah becomes a much more major player later in the book. Jimmy. But anyway, these are glossy pages. My first issue was not. Sarah actually becomes, instead of a side character, I think she eventually becomes more of the major star of the book. Once Julie decides that her and the Maxx's relationship is severely messed up, their friendship. This is also a great page. That the only way she can free him is to leave and just abandon everything and leave his Outback, stop dragging him into her weird dream world, and just get out of his life and set him free. That's not what he wants, but it's what she does. And then I think Sarah kind of picks up where Julie left off, and she has her own relationship with the Outback, which we will learn about later. And basically, the Maxxes continue to be dragged into her dream world. But it's different. Sarah's Outback is much different than Julie's. You got a lot of fan art with a lot of letter pages. It was really good. I don't normally care for that stuff, but with Maxx, I was always super interested in it. And it was one of the characters that I actually tried many, many times to draw. And I got pretty good at it. I really liked drawing the Maxx. It was fun. And Sam Keith's work on it was definitely something I was trying to emulate, because it just looks great. It didn't look like anything else I'd ever seen or dealt with at the time. Anyway, that's the first 4 issues of Maxx. I can't recommend this series enough. I also highly recommend the MTV made movie. It was really good, and I can't often say that about comic book stuff, but it translated really well in the 90s. So anyway, that's my story. I thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you later. Bye.